Hello, Weathersfield, Connecticut. All intercities, Connecticut. Since I was a kid, there were people recorded and confessed and demonstrated a whole bunch of names involved with New Britain Superior Court with a whole bunch of natures of federal crimes and federal criminals, foreign and domestic. Whole bunch of inner cities courts. A whole bunch of people I never had anything to do with a Casper family. See, they use like the identity that people are gonna go, but they have an illusions, identity of things. Like, for example, tied to this principal child defenders campus. There are more then and now still tied to that. Their crime methods since I was a kid. That was tied to the people involved with approve and seek post dated documents inside the Ninth Circuit. Trade Center attack, right before the Trade Center attack. So the panel of judges right before the attack in the court next to it had been shown post dated documents. That was proven after. That led to a 2006 case with former director of the FBI, Robert Luskin. He was facilitated to crime rolls with a whole bunch of people at each of the campuses I went to, and with not intelligence community families involved here criminally. They're preventing me free speech. I can't make a living because of the crime methods they use that everyone's missing. And it's recorded tied to how our fact cheaping nature is being exploited as a volume as criminal insidiousness nature maintained this way. Breaching organized crime method used. I'm not even a lawyer. But we'll examine also lawyers are used for fake sides of correlation. It's like illusions acting, and they make confessions and things like that through other kids. Recorded interbranch family members using their kids to pretend they had conversations with me. That's part of the extortion. So I need a response by interbranch. They're forging and switching names. Uses of states' attorneys. Recorded and within the Britain Superior Court. Recorded, confessed, evolved through time. All kinds of natures of crimes against each age of fact, treatment nature simultaneously, sickly, distinctly, simultaneously, sickly, non-distinctly, and it's how with other nations. Whole bunch of families tied to a Hartford hospital. There's a guy named Brett Britt who said, now these people they just make confessions to you. I don't know because they're trying to. These are people are evidence crime pretending things recorded. Two Mendez police, three or more police with Weathersfield that forge and switch names when they only have one guy with that name McGee. These are people recorded and confessed by Weathersfield police involved with federal crimes with FBI. From former director of the FBI down a whole bunch of other names of FBI. Other agencies, their family members, recorded degenerates. They use Facebook for crimes with child sex offenders. Their child trafficking rolls because through time, the Britain Superior Court has been attaching me and other kids to fake relationships to others. They've been pretending fake righteousness against criminal enterprises as while they're misprising and acting criminally with them. Identity thefts like Joshua Julian, criminal uses of the Facebook page of the principals with the prince worse than with the principal sex offender, also rape threats. Since before that, they hid that from Weathersfield parents. They're hiding that from them now. They're using the shadows with the policing real ill with a whole bunch of people with medical families associated with a Lombardo family, a Leahy family, through time involved with extortion acts against me, forging names, switching names, fake conversations with me, whole bunch of people in the Britain Superior Court, drug crime rolls with them, other natures of federal crime, wire crimes rolls with them, mail crime rolls with them. He mailed this shit. These are people, Trade Center, putting fake conversations with me about police equipment, mailed that. Fake conversations with me about cases with federal criminals tied to him and their co-defendant, former director of FBI. In a case that was ongoing at the time of my father's death, he's also recorded and confessed involved with the identity thefts of my father, federal evidence crime acts against my father in various natures of cases. Crime acts rolls with police forms on and off CCSU, on and off Trinity College, leading up to and in the 2006 case, leading up to and in the Trade Center attack context criminally. with the victims too, because they're all victim predators. There and here, we have natures of you can't defend that and us at the same time. I just remind. So before I get any older, I could have had three boxing careers. Three boxing careers. They have a whole bunch of people tied to Sammy Vega involved with CCSU with the grammar school I went to, with the former principal. His daughter's there. Her past boyfriends and her family and clicked with drugs and stuff with the federal crimes with the interbranch cliques, foreign and domestic. And then in other words, she's a nice girl too. I'm not saying anything about her. I don't know her. I barely just know who she is. I didn't even know he had a daughter when he was my principal, when I was in that grammar school. See, there's a former mayor of Gold, and there are standing and other. There's a Wethersfield mayor. I don't know him. Of Enzo Fienza recorded confessed to demonstrate him involved with them crimes. Also, Wethersfield Police with State Forensics Lab, State Police crimes with them with overt criminal enterprises, with the body dumping spot of Billy Grasso, with a whole bunch of people, mail corruption, identity thefts, all kinds of evidence crimes on off the spot of the serial killer, especially if made up. If they have programs where because they have something sustained on and off CCSU attached to their roles of crime methods with databases, pretending people to fake locations, pretending people to fake conversations in relations to people they don't even know, mixed with all exceptions built to be criminally exploited. In other words, they're maintaining there's no integrity. That's why and how we have negative value nature progressions, acts and natures that are real causes blamed on other things and others themselves. That's a breaching organized crime method maintained. That outcome. Like color. Worse than criminal incompetence are interbranch individually grouped and together. See, grouped is important because they also have crime methods grouped. They can't admit their sources, so they're pretending people want privacy, things like that. It's not true because the Wethersfield Police and a Gouget family and people associated him with the Scalora family, intercity police forms, recorded crime acts rolls with overt criminal enterprises, with databases, intercampuses, and with the cliques that didn't even go to my school, that are involved with people with fake location. They put fake things in databases, sequence shifting. Then they made that self-value. So they made criminally foreign influence factory nature self-value. That's how they're keeping states and areas criminally foreign influence. Database relationships clicks. Whole bunch of people that were associated with the police chief years ago and the one who's been for years and his daughter, immediate family. His daughter will record and confess, I never had a class where I never saw her on a campus in my life. I never saw her in my life in person. John Mayano. Other people recorded, confessed, demonstrated she was involved with other people that were my grade two growing up that are now involved with the principal sex offenders campus. See, they have these people that need to hide lie progressions personally, criminally foreign influence. They're using laws that give them the right to lie. They're hiding exceptions. They're hiding crime methods and natures recorded in cases already through time. They're criminally pretending that they should be sued then. In other words, they should have the right to defend themselves. They're preventing us the right to defend themselves by forging and switching names. We have to demand them interbranch it out to one name and sequence because they even have the state's attorneys criminally involved here with child offenders, women judges forging and switching names. There's a detective Samuda, all kinds of natures of federal crimes. Pretend he was an arresting officer of me. When I had gone to the campus of CCSU to counter their recorded rape threats, even online, criminal uses of Facebook, criminal uses of cases already through time. These are people with training of and the family of the leaderships of prisons. They have some kind of title structure. These sick people, though. They make confessions about their sexual circles. Specifically, so that when you say it, they can pretend things are personal. They can't put anything on writing. These are people with a whole bunch of death spots, crime acts rolled. The transition from ACA to RICO, Organized Crime Control Act, to Racketeering Influence and Corrupt Organization Act. Now, this is relevant. I'm not even a lawyer because they're the mail crimes. The extortion methods recorded, preventing me free speech, preventing me from, if I try to do business and entertain the nature of criminality associated with CCSU and Sammy Vega, a whole bunch of people on off Highcrest School, fire departments, Kerr family. Recently, not too long ago, Jerry Miller recorded, confessed, and demonstrated him further involved with overt criminal enterprises associated with the area, directly, indirectly, criminally used by them, and the witness protection program, criminally used by them. That juxtaposed what was with their actually recorded motivations, natures, and roles with child abusers, including women judges. And these are black and white, Confederate flag themed, fake, you know, fake belief, prejudice. Because Sammy Vega is involved with Confederate flag themed, KKK themed people associated with the schools in my town of each age, even the youngest schools, especially further recorded and confessed and demonstrated foreign and domestic, keeping our military involved, criminally foreign influence. There's a Spada family. They were affected to make confessions to me because they're using confessions. They're making young girls abused this way because then they grow up, everyone, they want to not talk about things. People associated with the FBI criminally, with federal criminal code defendants or them. A whole bunch of people that went to my school. One of the federal criminal code defendants, a former director of the FBI, had a daughter involved with the Joe DeMauro and with the O'Brien brothers and their family members, associated with a whole bunch of people associated with a Rick Fayon. I only know him making confessions about that. I never had a class with him. I told you about the exceptions online. See, they're playing games. They use Facebook to extend what the courts also said, pretend they were going to investigate things. They're using that for time treatment. They're using times all way too fast, too slow to abuse each age of fact treatment nature or each difference. Boys, girls, men, and women, sickly, distinctly, sickly, non-distinctly, too. It's sickly, distinctly, so everyone can see, not discern how sickly, non-distinctly. You can't see or the intercampuses racket, fake educational integrity leveraged upon Hartford, Connecticut, right on those locations. Fake righteous aggression with the people with the schools there next to the San Juan Center. These are people, long interstates involved Justice Department brackets, Washington, D.C., criminally foreign influence since before our founders were born here. Hartford is a pathology that was forced forward by the torture, in fact, treatment, nature, slavery of our founders. You can't tell American history without understanding how George Washington was forced to leave overt slavery with color, entrenched, and with us needing to demonstrate that everyone was a slave. They had laws against what everyone could say. They were building defenses of self-valued pseudo-positive. Because then once you have that self-value, you're standing lie, progression, cover-up nature. Nature itself is going to continue to demonstrate negative value, nature, progressions, acts, natures. Acts like predicate acts. Nature's like wrongdoers, wrongdoing. You know, I could have 3 boxing careers. We have to get a whole bunch of people with this Leahy family, with Lombardo family, with medical families in my area, foreign and domestic, involved with criminal enterprises, with fake conversations with me, forging names, switching names, mail crimes, spreading lies with me about various natures of court. New Britain Superior Court, we're criminally involved with judges associated with a district court in Connecticut, with prisons, people on off the prison camp, prison offices. We also recorded, confessed, involved crimes, federal crimes with the people in my area, crimes through time, with various natures, judges, overt criminal enterprises, and their family members, interstates, and worse, foreign too. And these are the people with like sexual circles. And then one of the cousin of, see, there's a Phil Cololo that a Bob Chase recorded, confessed, and demonstrated also women and men judges and doctors for their crimes on and off the Saustine Middle School, on and off of principal sex offender schools, recording, confessed, and demonstrated involved with more of them, especially if they made that up. Because these are a whole bunch of natures of child abuse and women judges roles, and people with all kinds of nature drug crimes and federal crimes with this detective Samuda who pretended he arrested me. He's also involved with sexual crimes against each age of women. These are also crimes against with people that pretend because they want to have the lawyer suit. These are crimes against women pretending they're for the women in the court. They're making fake sides. There's a Miss Phillips associated with a whole bunch of people associated on and off Park Street with a I forgot his name, Daryl Sullivan, and a whole bunch of police forms, foreign and domestic, interbranch, prison cliques, military, foreign and domestic, on off CCSU, training, criminal justice stuff. Those are people involved actual federal crimes with evidences with Los Salitos, other overt criminal enterprises, and from former director of the FBI down. His lawyer, Robert Chevery, around the corner from there, not far from there, involved with people and recorded, confessed, and demonstrated with judges and their police forms involved with all this crime leading up to and in the Trade Center attack criminally, leading up to and in a 2006 case criminally, leading up to and in cases that that were involved with forcing sexual abuses of kids, even using Facebook pages. Their own New Britain Superior Court used their own Facebook page through time. WFSB recorded stealing me to fake words with them. There were a whole bunch of people recorded, confessed. A Kerr family, DeMoro family, a whole bunch of women and men associated with a Fienza family on and off the state judicial branch offices, a whole bunch of federal crimes with mayors retired and standing, with the Dillon family, recorded further crimes with the kids, with my new and past neighbors involved with this, elderly crimes against me at my campuses I went to. Now these are sustained intercities, so then they're using because they have guns and they have the right to lie, but they use it criminally. And they use time too wait, too fast, too slow to torture people. So they can't defend that and us at the same time from free speech with actual integrity. They need to pretend they hate people to pretend, even if they do hate people, because they're haters, but they need to pretend that they don't realize roles with federal crimes with databases that are stayed, maintained, needed from off campuses, on and off campuses sustained, needed through criminal, what keeps them criminally foreign influenced. This is recorded. We have the witness protection program. We have criminal fact treatments and value of each agent, fact treatment, nature's value. We're in a tactically denatured relationship to nature, modern nations. Know how Russia has the same pathology forced on our founders, forced there too, of infrastructural pathology. The whole world basically sickly distinctly and everyone's calling that culture. Culture is why we are individual, grouped, and species. The invisible bonds value, which is positive or negative, whereas the quality of diffusion unceasingly. So we have mandated law, the value of it unceasingly prevented, and they're reacting to that. See, now there are people that pretend that were doctors of me when I was a kid because they were faking things into databases at the campuses, which what they're doing now. These are crimes with. So they'll if there are any parents who have any cases going before courts, those courts are long criminally involved with a whole bunch of medical corruption, foreign and domestic, and further on off the campuses. There's a Paul Zano and his family recorded, confessed, and demonstrated involved with a whole bunch of federal crimes and wire crime rolls with WFSB, with their sources, drug crime rolls, crimes with the Wethersfield police chief's family, with the child of sex offenders roles criminally, on off WFSB, attaching me to fake conversation with them, preventing my free speech that way, covering live progressions from people that prevented it in the past that way. This is worse than extortion. This is worse than property thefts. You know, get me a response, get them to pick one name in sequence into branch, and let's go. They forge names, switch names too, because of their identity of the ground tied to a quality of fact sheet nature rack and rolls. Stop stealing too. WFSB, Stephen Colbert. He goes, oh, even gangsters, what even gangsters have some morals or something. See, it's a paraphrase of what I was saying. See, they're involved with that. There's another crime method. They steal my words. They know what you have to say, so they'll say it, pretend you tried to say it, and say it, and they tell everyone to pretend you don't understand you. Get me the names of the judges to one name in sequence into branch. This Detective Samuda has also recorded, confessed, and demonstrated involved intercities with on and off CCSU interstates involved with the child offenders of all sick natures bonded. Whole bunch of natures child. These are the people sick with the elderly through time, pretending because they go visit them. Forget about it. A whole bunch of people tied to Johnny Duke. A whole bunch of victim predators. I'm not making opinions. But Johnny, in other words, Johnny Duke's also involved with Lawrence Claybit. I never had a conversation with Lawrence Claybit, but his profession with the criminal justice is a bunch of degenerate, criminally foreign influenced, sick fakes. So we need to have, and he's involved with a whole bunch of overt criminal enterprises, like with Johnny, like with the Sammy Vega, from a whole bunch of politicians, highest like senators down, all victim predator, because everyone knaves. That's why you can't get a response, because they don't follow mandated law. They quote statutes knowing they're hiding criminal exceptions. They're hiding their perjury record rolls, personal against and grouped and against each age. These are women using interbranch pretend because these are women hurting little girls. Black and white female judges involved with this Detective Samudo pretended he arrested me. Crime rolls with a pattern of sexual aggression and threats against each age of fact sheet nature of women and of little girls, with child sex offender principal associated crimes with a whole bunch of Wethersfield police and the police chief's personal family. You sick punk fakes. CT breaks. So local 230 is also recorded, confessed, and demonstrated by Wethersfield police involved with them with a whole bunch of federal crimes. Other unions. Those unions don't want it. These are pension thieves cliques. Like with the daughter of one in my grade. I forgot his name. Johnny LeConche. Another guy associated with him at Dearborn Street in Newington, associated with Eric Jensen. His father, police, and associated with state police. A state police named Poison, and other ones in their family members on off CCSU, on off Trinity College through time, criminally involved. I don't know them. These are people associated with Olsen brothers, with state police, foreign and domestic, overt criminal enterprise, federal crimes, mail crimes, identity theft clicks, sequence shift roles with on off the Southstein Middle School. These are Pakistani American drug cliques, etc. Russian family members, and also with predicate acts roles with this Leahy family. A whole bunch of natures of courts with federal crimes with them. Fake conversations with me. They use because they put, in other words, they're also preventing people from using their speech calmly and or any other way. I first tried calmly in a sustained way every time too. They use these are completely Connecticut is completely criminally foreign influence delusions raw and hurt in sustained ways that made them self-value The real causes of it blamed on other things other than themselves, not by accident. They don't have the sophistication to heal us. We have the means right now for instant evolution, and in turn. So have WFSB fix their fake news. Fox Connecticut News, also with Thaddeus Grabowski. There were also a whole bunch of people with women police forums associated with Allison Mulcahy and her sister. His sister. I never had a class with her. I never had a conversation with her. John Maiano and others told me that she's involved with them which he told me this before that, but now they're involved with the further federal crimes with WFSB. A whole bunch of people with all kinds of positions at the New Britain Superior Court, other courts that were federal crimes before in the Trade Center context, leading up to a 2006 case and then other cases since. Also, Crime Act's rules and uses of depositions, where they paint fake sides of issues. And then everyone's motivated because they're just dealing with facts, how that type of expert is told to deal with facts, because this is also how they have types of experts used to further those things and used to pretend other, because they're that type, but they're not against that. We have sick people interbranch. You forget about it. Intermilitary. We have each database telling lie. And if when you try to tell it, one of the things, the principal sex offenders campus is recorded, confessed, and demonstrated they have further Mike Levine, two Mendez police, a Phil Cololo, and a whole bunch of other people involved with a Leahy family and with interbranch family people with various departments of CCSU involved with it. In other words, the old and Stop and Shop has roles with that, with family members, with positions, with shared policing of stores and things like that. And then we have, what is it? I forgot the other name of the nation. They have all these other nations, all victim predator. The real species bonded. Why we're supposed to be bonded? That's a different system. So respect for them is not respect for equal. What they call equal. It's no good here. They're all fake. Now, free speech, fix the fake news. Why make it worse? It's not by accident they have this union problem going on right now too, and they have this problem sustained too. You try to use Facebook; they're using Facebook to cover up their evidences, criminally foreign influence states areas evidence racket rolls right through administrations. There are sequence shift rules, Federal Crime Acts rules, Trade Center Predicate Act rules, mail crimes rules, uses of Mueller for sequence shifts. Crime Acts pretending not to realize that I was trying to report this right through the Obama administration. They're lying to you. Here is news. I'm not even a journalist. To be humbled here and fall. So we're gonna make the New York game play journalism. They don't want to help. We have to go right through them. Get me response, because these are people involved with proven and further recorded Trade Center Crime Acts roles. But these are the ones everyone missed because they're all just defending identities. See that guy Mud that goes up on CNN? He doesn't care about. Look. I tried to draw as the best I could. All the people stacking. What is unfathomable that they even put people together like that in the first place. Tactically nature relationship to nature, like with one of the about the projects in the New York game, and with inside a little rap guy and friends. But then I saw Mike Tyson in a video recently. I've tried to find that on history or something. And they have even worse. I was trying to draw it unfathomably harder over. In other words, the people stacking they have was already used, consciously built for a crime method that's intercampuses of each age, leading up to it, because medical campuses too. Each position of time treatment, elderly home, things like that. There's boxings. Boxing. These are not means. The science never spoke free speech, free mandated law right now. So we have intercities mayors retired and standing involved with the problem with the child offenders. We have a problem with the family members associated with all kinds of, so how they facilitated, maintained misprising and criminality because they maintained the nature of volume as pseudo positive, loving criminal citizens' natures, lie progressions that they can exploit, standing lie progression, cover up nature styles. They value criminally foreign influenced fake positive treatments of our founders. That's not care for our founders. They want free speech. They want their fact treatment nature, slavery and torture enforced, not to counter databases left criminally foreign influences. Database methods, roles with such, entrenched in layers, not by accident. They knew that people were going to break out of that and they'd be stuck in the next stage. Free mandated law and speech. WFSB recorded, confessed, involved with extortion methods, stealing media, fake words with people that did this through time. Each campus I went to, and they don't let you have anyone to counter because they're forging names, switching names, everyone's speaking to other criminally. Various natures of courts, people retired and standing, involved, all with the houses in my area, criminally involved, former director of the FBI down, federal criminals, overt criminal enterprises, criminal uses of the witness protection program. Don't make me seek you guys to them. How do I even know about you? Confessions used criminally. Get down. I'll gather around.